Hello, my name is Helen. I am here today for express a share about the passive voice. As content is the what is the passive voice, grammatical rules, examples of passive voice in the past, passive voice in the present, and passive voice in the future. Short summary, and finally bibliography. Usually the passive R is a way to better understand sentences according to the importance of this is. We have our here, but what is the passive voice? When we want to give more importance to the person who has done it with the passive voice. But the passive voice and some rules. Grammatical rules is the object of the active substances becomes on the subject of the passive. The second rule is the main verb is replaced by the auxiliary to be in the sentences. That is, they are used. Past is was or were. Present is or are. In the future is will or were. The subject of the main clause becomes the agent complement of the passive. The next rule is his wife normally be present with the preposition be. For example, be Maria, be England, etc. When to the passive voice, we use the passive voice when we don't know who has performed the actions. When we want to give more important to what happening that to the action, or we do not want to say who did it. For example, the passive voice in the simple past. And the most activity is Miriam wrote a book. If the structure is the subject and verb, finally is a object. In the passive voice is the book was written by Miriam. The book was is the object más verb to be, and writing is the verb in past. If Miriam is the subject. The next example is Hannah cleaned the house yesterday. It's in the boss activity. Hannah cleaned is the subject más verb. The house was cleaned yesterday by Hannah is the passive voice. The house was is the object más verb to be. It cleaned is the verb. Is the verb in the past. Yesterday is the complementary. If Hannah is the subject. The next example is Ukraine attacked Russia. Is in the voice activity. And the passive voice is Ukraine was attacked by Russia. Ukraine was is the object. Is the object must verb to be. Attacked is the verb in the past. If Russia is the subject. Is the subject. For example, passive voice in the simple present. The usually structure is one. In the voice activity, he examines patterns on the second floor. In the passive voice is patterns are is the object and verb to be is are. Examine is the verb on the second floor complemented. Is patterns are examined on the second floor. The next example is when in both activity is will let books only to students. In the passive voice is book is lent only to students. Book is the object must verb to be. Learn is the verb in present simple y only two students complemented. England makes the best computer is in both activity. And passive voice is the best computers are is the object más verb to be. Made is the verb in present simple person. Y England is the subject. Finally, passive voice in the future. For example, in both activity is Rosie will cook a new dessert. Then in passive voice is the new dessert will be cooking be Rosie. The new dessert will be is the object más verb to be. Cooking is the verb in future. Y be Rosie as a subject. The next is the tortoise will run tomorrow. Tomorrow will be running big turtles. Eso es in past voice. The next example, Ralph will design the new house. And past active voice. And passive voice is the new house will be designed by Ralph. The new house will be is the object más verb to be. Design is the verb in future. Y be Raúl is the subject. Finalmente, summary. And short summary. The passive voice is used to show interest in the person who performs an action. The passive voice is composed of two elements. The one element is the proverb form of the verb to be. In the verb to be, in past, the user was or were. In present is or are. In the future is will or will be. In the next, the two elements is the past participle. Is the verb and future and present and past. And finally is bibliography. Thank you and goodbye.